You're tuned in to Season 3 of the Bird Joy Podcast, hosted by Dexter Patterson and Jason Hall. This podcast is for all the homies across the globe, a place to celebrate birds, community, and joy together. We're back with more stories from the birding world, more voices doing dope work in STEM, and more reasons to get outside and enjoy the birds. Are you ready for some bird joy? Let's go.
Hello, everybody. We are super excited to be at the Chase STEM Academy. My name is Dexter Patterson. I'm also known as the Wisco Birder. I am a science communicator, an educator at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and a bird photographer. I also lead my own birding club called the BIPOC Birding Club of Wisconsin, where my mission is to get more Black and brown people outside in the outdoors, and that on-ramp is birds, and helping people connect with nature, having fun, and trying to create some connections in some meaningful ways.
Yeah, and I'm Jason Hall. I am also a scientist, although I work in a totally different space. I work in molecular biology. I'm a vaccine development scientist and have been for almost 20 years now. Outside of working in the lab, I founded In Color Birding Club in Philly, where I really focus on getting Black and brown communities out into birding, right, and finding that joy. And both career aspects for me require some science communication, especially with vaccines over the last 5 years or so and everything that happened with the pandemic. So, I'm really happy to be here with y'all, and I hope you all enjoy this conversation.
Yeah, if you don't know, we're big fans of STEM. Just to see all of these students, the students we met earlier at the Marsh, and you all, to see students who are doing big things in science, technology, engineering, math, and medicine is super, super exciting to us. So hats off to y'all. What you are doing matters. And the things that you are learning are going to open up doors for you. You know, science earners and people who know the most math, they also are the highest earners. So go get your pockets right. All right, you're going to get your pockets right by taking these courses and really thinking about these STEM fields as you continue to grow.
Yeah, and you guys have an amazing access point right here to nature, right? Dexter and I were out there this morning, and it's got to be really special for y'all to be able to just go straight outside. And I saw the meadow out there and be able to study some of the things out there, and even find yourself, being able to find some peace and quiet, right? We were talking about how stuffy it is sometimes in different places, and sometimes as a kid, I know you don't want to be in school, but you got that right out there, which most schools in this country don't have. So that's got to be really special.
I would say, too, especially you all are going through testing. Being a kid is hard. Being a student is hard. So I would say, too, if you're starting to feel overwhelmed or you're stressed out, going outside and just being in nature is really helpful. You don't got to like birds. You don't got to like animals, but you can listen to them. You can get some sun on your face. Let the wind hit you, hearing some running water. It really does bring down your stress levels, and it is for you. And that's one thing I always stress to kids is never forget that nature is for you. You're in a technology school. I get it. Technology is so amazing. I have 3 kids at home. They love their technology, but it's also good to unplug sometimes and decompress a little bit and allow your mind to slow down a little bit. So I encourage you, continue to go outside in nature and understand that it is for you.
Yeah, and there's a lot we can learn, obviously, from exploring the nature around us, right? And you all have that marsh out there. And I think we want to really dive in to learn about what you guys are seeing, doing, learning in that space, and what things you dream of doing in that space here at Chase STEM.
So how many of you, obviously, you've been to the Marsh, right? So you all go out to the Marsh. What are some things that you've seen or noticed there? And I'd love to just have you all head over to the mic and let us know. What are some cool things you've seen or noticed at the Marsh? Yeah.
When we go inside the Marsh, we see like the birds that we study about, which is green herons, red-winged blackbirds. Yeah, turtles. We see turtles. Mm-hmm. We see frogs. Mm-hmm. Well, deers, of course, rabbits, and fish, and
good.
That's awesome.
Indigo bunting.
Cool thing about the indigo bunting, fun fact about them is they're actually not blue. There's a science behind that makes these blue birds, even blue jays. Blue jays are actually brown. Their feathers are not, they look blue to us, to the UV light and how it interacts with the feathers on. I know, right? It was like that emoji where your head blows up when I start learning some of this stuff. Like, yeah, blue birds aren't actually blue. Isn't that fascinating? Science. It's science.
Do you know how that happens? So there's a structure in their feathers that does not absorb blue light. So, you have your color spectrum, Roy G. Biv. I don't know if you guys learned about that yet. And so the blue light, when it comes down in the full color spectrum from the light in our sky, it just doesn't absorb it. So it bounces back and goes straight into your eyeballs, right? So if you pulled that blue jay feather out and looked at it closely, it would look gray, right? And so it's pretty interesting how those animals adapt themselves to show that color blue, especially since birds can also see UV color. What we're seeing is totally different from what they're seeing. So I just heard yesterday that male and female American robins, they both, kind of have a dark brownish chest. The female's a little lighter, but the male's chest actually has some different UV colors that the female can notice. So they very easily know which one is male and which one is female based on that, but we can't see that. Quite interesting.
Vontez, thank you for sharing that. Can somebody tell us why it's important to have a space like the Manhattan Marsh? Why do you think it's important to have those protected areas? Like, that's something that you've all been talking about, preserving habitats and protecting some of these spaces. Why would that be important? Yeah, I like it.
It would be important because to get outside and go see other adventurous stuff, and it's also good for the animals because they have a space to live and they don't like when humans destruct their habitats and more stuff like that.
Yeah, you nailed it. It's funny how us humans do a lot of destructing. We do a lot of destructing. I think you summed it up really well, is we need those places like the marsh because the animals, we're not promised to have the birds that Vontez talked about. We're not promised to have them forever. We're not promised to have the frogs and the different species that you all talked about here today because of habitat destruction and things like that. So protecting this conservation is really, really important. And having young scientists and people that are exploring is really important because you all are the future. This is your world, right? This is your world that hopefully we don't destruct. The older folks don't mess up too much for y'all because we want you all to be able to enjoy those spaces for a very, very long time.
Yeah. And is there any, as you look at that space out there, right, you guys have been out there a lot. Is there anything you're curious about in that space? Anything you wonder if it lives out there or could live out there? Anything you hoped you would see out there one day?
One thing I actually wondered before I even went out there when I found out there was a marsh back there was if sharks. But then when I went out there and I found out I sounded kind of like crazy because there's no sharks out there.
Mm-hmm.
But there is these big birds that live out there with their babies though. And one time when we was going out there to go test for our globe thing, there was this bird with the babies on it, with the babies on this little paddle thing, and they started yelling at us. Not me.
Yeah.
But they was yelling at us. And our teacher, Miss Polana, our science teacher, she had told us the reason why they yelling is because we was coming a little too close to their babies.
Yep. Yeah, this is the time of year, right?
Same way you would get if somebody stepped on your front porch that you didn't know. You'd be like, who is this at my front door? Like they know me, right?
They're very protective of their babies.
Especially the Canada geese. Is that the ones you were seeing out there?
They'll go,
yeah.
They'll stick their tongue out at you. That's when you know you way too close. We call them ninja chickens.
What you got, Vontez?
Two things I want to see when I go in the marsh is a bald eagle, up close.
Up close?
Yeah, up close, and a snapper turtle.
Ooh, those are two amazing animals. How big was the snapper that you saw? Because they can get huge. Yeah.
Okay, so it was at least 15 inches.
Wow.
I do think it was hurt because then I told my sister to run home and get a towel because it was just sitting up there just right in front for humans to see. So my sister went home and got a towel and she put a stick in its mouth so it went and tried to bite her and she picked it up and went to go put it by the water to help it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Does anyone know any fun facts about snapping turtles? What they do in the wintertime to survive? No? So if y'all get a chance, if you see one out there in the winter, go check if that ever freezes over in the wintertime. Go just look under the ice a little bit, look down from the boardwalk, because snapping turtles will go into something called brumation, where they literally slow down their entire body's metabolism and they just let themselves freeze. And they'll stay underwater, and they breathe through exchanging oxygen in their bum. So they have a pathway to do that, and they'll just stay there. I was out with some kids over the winter, and we were walking down a boardwalk, and there was this snapping turtle that was frozen. It looked like that scene from Godzilla when he's frozen in the ice, like he's about to fight something, and it was just super wild. So definitely check that out in the wintertime as you guys are out there, all right?
Yeah, all turtles do that. Frogs as well. They go as low as they can, and they just chill, literally.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So we're at a STEM school, and when they asked us when we came here for the biggest weekend birding festival, obviously because Jason and I are birders. He did a presentation already. I'll be giving a keynote speech tomorrow. When they asked us, y'all want to go meet with some kids? We were like, yes, and especially kids at a STEM school. I'd love to hear about what your favorite class or subject is here and why. What's your favorite class or subject?
Mine's math.
Math?
I like math very much. I don't know why. I just do. In my mind, like, it comprehends it.
That's good. No, that if you get math, that's a blessing, right? It's not always easy. It wasn't for me. Yeah, what's your favorite class and why? Would love to hear from a variety of you. This is really cool. I'm always interested in this.
Does specials really count like as a class or no?
Yeah.
Oh, well, math and gym.
Math and gym.
And probably STEM.
So in your STEM, what do you kind of talk about everything in that class?
No, not really, but it's like technology. Like we could like make like our own websites.
Oh.
Like Scratch, I think that's what. And
Coding?
code, yeah,
Ooh.
coding to make like our own games. And
That's really
we was trying to make a green heron like type of game and make it as our own website. It was gonna show like facts and what to know about green herons and other birds in the marsh.
I love it. Green herons are super cool birds too. They actually use tools and bait. Like they'll throw out a piece of bait that fish would like, and they'll chum the water. They'll do all these little cool things, and they'll just throw it out there and wait for a fish to come get it and then snatch them. So they're super, super smart birds. What else? What's your favorite? What's your favorite
come on,
class?
let's get up to the mic. Let's hear.
My favorite class probably be math.
Math. I love y'all doing it the right way. All these kids liking math. It's funny because
Yeah, because I don't find it hard.
The easiest class you got right now? Okay. So you just out here just doing math equations in your head, just randomly? It's all right.
y'all
I like
some
it.
smart-
All right, yeah.
Y'all got
That's how y'all like to
scholars.
do
I
it.
love this. Scholars.
All right. Anyone
What's your
else that
favorite
is?
class?
Yeah, Brody, what's it?
Math.
Math too? All right. Anyone else not math?
My favorite class is reading.
Reading.
Some people find it boring, but to me, I like reading.
Leaders
I
are
got-
readers.
Yeah, I like reading. Math, I don't like math. I never liked the math. I like science. I don't like social studies. It's kind of boring. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I still love you. But science and reading and English is my favorite class. Even though I'm kind of lacking in English,
The more you read, though, that's going to boost all the English, writing, everything. So that's a great habit to start building early. Leaders are truly readers.
And we just did a podcast episode with Dr. J. Drew Lanham, and he talks about the need for prophets and poets in science, where it's not always needing to publish all of your data in some academic journal, but being able to express how you feel about the science or even express it in a way to other people with English, right? With different kind of books and storytelling. So that's awesome. That's great. Brody, you got something to say? Okay. Have you guys worked on any? I know you worked on the podcast, and I heard a little bit about the website. Are there any projects that y'all have worked on this year that you're particularly proud of or enjoyed working on? Come on.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. You seemed excited, so now I'm excited. Okay, let's go.
Oh, presented at the zoo. Awesome.
Did a whole project at the zoo. We did globe at the zoo yesterday.
Okay.
My project was phosphates and
Wow.
turbidity.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's go. Tell me, please.
How did it feel to be able to go to the zoo and talk about that project, though? How'd that make
Cool.
you feel?
It was cool.
Good. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great project. Who else?
Who else?
Come on, Brody. Let's go, man.
I love it.
Me and some of my classmates are making an animation.
Animation? What are you making it about?
It's kind of a horror animation.
A horror animation? So what's
Okay.
the scary story you're telling?
So people wake up in this random place that has no escape,
Ooh.
and there's these there is a monster with only one smart head, and it's three-headed.
And there's no escape at all, so they can't work together to figure out anything, huh? So they're just doomed. All
The
right.
monster only has only one out of 3 of the heads are smart. This sounds kind of funny, actually.
Yeah.
I want to know what the monster is like.
I love it.
That's awesome, brother. Thank you.
It's not really like a project, but I think we was trying to we was drawing and I think we was putting it on a podcast. I don't really know who did it, but it was the girls that did all the drawing and
Lots of technology stuff. I'm loving this. What else? What are some other cool projects you worked on? Look like you work on some cool stuff. What have you worked on? Did not me? Anybody else? All right, awesome. Should be proud of the work you do. Y'all spend all this time in here and
This isn't really a school project. This is one I did myself. But I have this book, and I have a page for each one of the birds we have in the school, like indigo bunting, red-winged blackbird. It has a picture of it and then everything it eats and all that.
that's fantastic.
We'll show you the
It's a
book.
bird
I left
journal.
it at home.
Yeah,
That's all right.
that's amazing.
That's awesome. Did you remember what it was, Vontes?
It's another project.
the 6th graders and the 7th graders made a QR code to if you scan it, it will take you to our podcast or other episodes. And
Oh, nice.
And on one episode, it's a trivia episode. It's where if you was listening in the episodes that we told, it will it's a sin and 10. It's something like that. I don't know what it's called, but
Okay.
it's something like that.
All right.
Love it. The younger kids were talking about, they created these posters. Indigo bunting was on there, and then you're able to scan it and then go maybe hear the bird, learn some different things about the bird. So I'm loving hearing about how you all are using some of this technology here. All right, so you're taking all these cool classes, you're doing all these projects. Are there any STEM careers that are speaking to you at a young age that you see could be for you? What are some of the careers that you all have been looking into that interest you?
I don't know if it's a STEM career, but I want to be a physical therapist.
Medicine, but so you all have that medicine angle at this school here, so that is fantastic. We were talking about the need to have people out at the bird walks to massage people's necks because this time of year the warblers come through, and warblers are the tiny songbirds. Warbler means singer, and they're always at the top of the tree canopy, and everybody's like this all day, and then they go home and their neck hurts. So we could use some physical therapy on the neck sometimes after a long day of birding.
Absolutely. And you can hear one of those yellow warblers
Yeah,
out
there's
the window.
a yellow warbler calling. It's been calling the whole time outside.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. I'm so sweet.
So I wanted to be a hair, eyelash, and nail person, but I was also thinking about being a dermatologist. I don't know if that's
You
involved
can do
in
both.
STEM.
I've seen people that cosmetology, a lot of those folks are kind of both. They specialize in skin and hair and all that. So I would say if you're passionate about it, pursue it. Because then you get fulfillment after a long day's work. If you actually like what you do, even if you work hard, you go home and you're like, you know what? At least I'm doing what I love. I think you could be both.
You absolutely could. That's awesome. What else we got?
What else we got?
Somebody we haven't heard from. Oh, go ahead, Brody. Looking at y'all though.
Yeah.
I know which ones we haven't heard from.
3, 4. All
right.
Yeah. What kind of career you thinking about?
What you thinking, Brody?
I want to be a paramedic, and I'm
Param-
already accepted into a medical school.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Good, man.
Paramedics.
Good, Brody. Yeah.
You need it. Medical.
Brody gonna be out
What
there in them
else?
streets saving lives.
What about you? No careers you thinking about right now? Nothing that maybe sparks your interest? No?
When I was younger, in the 4th grade, I wanted to be a math teacher for so long. I don't know what happened.
At least you still like it. What about you? No?
So I don't really want to be a archaeologist or nothing like that, or what she said and what Rose said. But I want to start a clothing or a shoe. I want to make my own clothing brands and stuff like that. Cause I like fashion. And that's
Love it.
All right, so you got to understand textiles,
Branding.
materials,
Yeah.
all that other stuff. That's good. That's good.
Communication.
So you all may not have decided on where your careers are yet, and you don't have to because you're in the 6th and 7th grade, right? Not everybody has that opportunity yet. But the key here is that you guys are still out here experiencing stuff, so you're leaving yourself open to be inspired, okay? And one of the ways we do that is getting inspired by just looking around and seeing some of the problems in the world that need to be solved. So is there any particular problem? If you could solve a problem in the world using your STEM education, which one would it be? Is there anything that's particular to you that you would be passionate about?
If there was one thing I'd change in the world, because when I be going places, and they mostly be downtown, and there be people on the street, they just be sitting there with their covers and stuff and laying and stuff and like that, and I don't sit right with me like that. I don't like that.
So how would you use, what kind of ideas do you have?
Like, I don't know, but it was like a couple of years ago, I was thinking about the same thing, and I said like one day I get like this like real like giant house. Like make like our own house, like a big house, and then then I said have a team of social workers that'll go out there, and whoever they see on the street just laying out there, they take them and bring them there, and then I have like a cooker, cleaner, all that, and
help them get back on their feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks. Yep, that's awesome.
We've been seeing people doing like little tiny home villages to try to help areas that are dealing with people that are unhoused or on the street. You got a good heart. That's really good. It's good to see young people that care. Yeah.
Yeah, everything, right?
What else? What's some other problems out there in the world that you all see and think need to be solved?
I want to stop world sickness.
World sickness?
I don't know how. I'm going to learn, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn.
All right. That's good. You too. What do you want to solve? Nothing? Okay.
Two dudes asking me questions.
Yeah. Want to get out of here? What do you want to solve?
Well, I want so my mom has kids, and I have like this mindset, if like I can get you out of a dirty home, I can get you out of like a dirty mindset, you'll lift up.
Yeah.
So, like that's what I want to help with.
I love it. I love it.
So those practical skills people need to get out into the world and kind of make themselves better, make their lives more peaceful.
They often say we are our thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So if you can clear a dirty mindset, our focus goes where our energy flows. So what we think about truly is kind of who we are sometimes. I like that.
You okay? All right.
Any other problems? Love it.
Oh, yeah. And world hunger.
Okay.
I don't like those people because I like to eat. And I know they like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to eat.
Yeah.
So I want to stop that too.
Yeah, and it's actually a relatable thing with the birds too, right? Because the birds are reacting to climate change and they have to move to different places to find food. All these warblers out here, they're trying to time themselves to get here right when the caterpillars are moving up the trees from the ground, right? That's what they're eating. And they migrate based on the amount of sunlight. Well, if it gets here warm too quickly because of climate change, they may miss that. And the light may be right, but by the time they get here, if the environment's messed up, it's a mess. It's the same thing with humans, right? Humans in different parts of the world, their climate is changing so fast, and you see refugees moving from place to place due to famine. Yeah, like Hawaii, yeah, so like there's natural disasters, there's all kinds of stuff that forces people around and forces them into hunger. So it's a good problem to solve. It's a big problem to solve for sure.
I want all the countries to stop to end war.
Yeah.
Because
stop fighting with each other.
Yeah, if we all come together, we'll stop. It will be no world hunger. It would be more technology than it would be. Probably never know because of the war.
Well, you guys are the next ones on deck.
We need
right?
you.
You guys are our next politicians, our next leaders, right? Hopefully we didn't mess it up too much.
Hopefully not. Who's inspiring you all? Who inspiring you these days? Who are you inspired by? Who are you inspired by? It don't matter who it is. I want to hear. It could be anybody.
My mother.
I want to know who
brother,
inspires you.
My sister. My whole family. I love all of them.
Love it.
Oh,
Who inspires you? That's good.
You inspires you? That's good. That's good.
Who inspires you? Family?
Yeah.
Who inspires you? Mom, who inspires you? Mom, who inspires you? Dad, who inspires you? Brother, your mom and your dad. He said himself, who inspires you? Your grandma, who inspires you? Your family, and sport players, who inspires you?
My mom, my dad, my dad, my stepdad, and my grandma, and my cousins, and my uncles and stuff like that. And my little brother, he in first grade, and he super, super smart. He know how to speak Spanish, Mexican, Chinese, all that.
He using Babbel?
He better. He's smarter than me. He's smarter at math. He know how to do division. He only in the first grade.
That's amazing. Continue to allow him to feel good about that, you know.
But he also try to use his intelligence to get smart with me.
But listen, you're gonna have that with siblings either way. So it's interesting that a lot of you all, are inspired by your family members. So that's good. It seems like a common theme that a lot of you have people directly in your lives that kind of lift you up. You inspire yourself every day. Yeah. How's that working? What is it about you that inspires you? That's all right. I'm going to keep coming back to you until I get you up to the mic. We have, talked about you all and what you're doing, and I'm very grateful and thankful that you all have answered some questions. So now we're going to flip it, and it's your turn to ask us some questions. Yeah, go ahead. Anything you want to ask us, okay?
I got a question for you. What inspired you to study birds?
I always say, so I kind of always liked birds. Growing up, my grandpa was a birder, and I always tell people I always liked birds, but I never gave them the attention they deserved. Then as I got older, I started actually paying attention and learning about them and doing more research. And I saw this one bird called an osprey. Any of you know what an osprey is? It's also called the fish hawk. It's a little smaller than a bald eagle. They're expert anglers, and they hunt fish. Over 90% of their diet is fish. And I was using technology like you all like, and I'm scrolling, and I see this bird. At the time, I didn't know what it was, and it was the osprey, and it's flying so fast towards the water, and I was just like glued to the screen, and I was like, oh my God, what am I looking at? What am I looking at? And it's going faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, and it hits the water. It literally hits the water, and it has these huge talons, and as it hits the water, it completely goes under the water. So all of a sudden, the little head pokes out. And it's looking around, and they look around because the bald eagle likes to steal their snacks. So it's looking around, no bald eagles around, and it comes out of the water, and it starts flapping its big wings and flapping its wings and flapping its wings, and it flew away holding a huge fish. And when I saw that, my mind was blown. Like, I was like, what? First of all, what is that? What did I just witness? And it was the coolest thing I had ever seen in my life. And then from that day forward, I was like, wow. First of all, I need to learn what that bird is. And then I was like, I'm going to learn about as many birds as possible after that. So that's what we call a spark bird in the bird world, is like a bird that you see that sparks this fire in you, this interest in you that makes you want to pay attention to more birds. So for me, it was the osprey.
Come on, Vontez, you ain't been shy already.
Well, I got a couple suggestions that can make the marsh better.
Ooh.
Probably we could near the water. It's down near somewhere near the marsh. It's like a hill, right? It's you could get you could probably grab objects from it and look and closely to the water and see you could find any turtles or any insects or something that would be interesting, because sometimes it'd be red-winged blackbirds. You can't see it at all, but sometimes I spot them. I found one yesterday when I was going through the marsh.
So more binoculars and more tools so you can see things closer. Okay.
What's both of your guys' favorite birds?
Go first.
Yeah, my favorite bird is called a sandhill crane. Have any of you seen those around here? You seen a crane doing a what? Oh, you're funny. You're a funny guy right here. Mechanical crane. A sandhill crane, you guys actually have them around here. They stand about 4.5 feet tall. They're not the egrets and the great blue herons that you see in the water out there. These primarily stand on land. And I'll find a picture for y'all. What'd you say?
I'm going to tell my favorite bird after.
Yeah, no, that's good. I want to hear it. But anyway, that bird I found out about when I was visiting my grandmother, who's one of my inspirations for loving birds. And this bird here, I'll put a picture around for you guys, right? It's got kind of a reddish on the head. It's a really, really, really beautiful bird. And the reason why I learned to love it, is because I like the way it sounds.
Yeah,
right? So
they sound like dinosaurs for real.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the sound for you guys. Okay, you ready? What do you think it sounds like? All right. That was a good Great Blue Heron impression right there. Yeah. All right, here you go.
Like a dinosaur.
Pretty cool sound, right? So if you guys listen, I've heard them around Toledo. I've heard them in the marsh. All right.
Okay, so I have to leave in a second, so I'm gonna just tell mine. So, my favorite bird is a woodpecker because
Montez, you okay?
my favorite bird is a woodpecker because it uses things around it. I like the sound they make. I don't know why.
That's good.
But also, if I had to give it to other ones, bald eagle, a hawk, and a blue jay.
Love it.
Nice.
Yeah, okay.
Love
So,
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming.
What you got, Montez?
These are my.
You got question, comment, suggestion?
I got something. I got there. I got 3 birds that I want to witness when I go to the marsh.
Okay.
First one is a woodpecker, but I want to see a woodpecker like drilling like their nose inside of a tree.
Sure.
And I want to see a bird like right there on the brown right next to the blue.
Like this? Oh, a hummingbird. Yeah.
I don't know when it's a hummingbird, and I want to see also like an eagle like catch fish like from high in the sky and go all the way down.
Sure. Yeah.
Something.
Definitely get that. So one thing you can ask your school to do when you guys come back around here to spring is you guys can put a small hummingbird feeder out in that meadow if you want. Right, but you got to change it every 3 days. Okay? Go ahead.
If you were to choose another career, what would it be?
Ooh. If I could choose another career, what would it be? I always say, so right now I'm a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I teach science communication. Love that. Like that was like my dream when I went to school like that. I said, when I get done with all this school, I want to be a professor. But if I had to choose, I always say, what would you do if money didn't make a difference? I would love to be a full-time birder. Like only, all the time. Only, that would be my job, is to be out birding, taking pictures of birds, talking about birds, writing books about birds. So yeah, that's the end goal someday is maybe I can retire from teaching and just be a full-time bird.
That's a good question. I would also like to do that and like travel the world, take people different places, take students different places. But another secret thing that I would always want to do is be a pilot, an airline pilot. I love flying. I love the engineering of airplanes. And I didn't realize I loved it until I had to get over my fear of flying. So I started watching a bunch of documentaries on how they build airplanes, what the safety features are, all that other stuff. And I found myself obsessed with how they get something that large, 40,000 feet in the air. So, yeah.
Every time we go in art class, the art teacher will like sell bird food. It'll set out the art teacher sell bird food, and sometimes we'll see like a cardinal. I've seen like red blackbird before, and I've seen like different type of birds. And I was like, if we could do stuff like that all the time, then we'll witness like more birds than we expect.
Yeah.
In the marsh.
Yeah, so setting up more feeders around the school would be helpful. They also have smart bird feeders now, which is kind of cool, that are solar powered and take pictures of the birds that come to the feeder, which are really cool. That'd be a cool piece of technology. Maybe I'll get y'all one, because I got a bunch of sponsors that send me a bunch of stuff. Maybe I can send y'all a smart bird.
We all know you're a crazy bird man. What would you want to be? Did you know you wanted to be like a bird, someone who studied bird when you were older?
Oh, you know what? I learned in high school. I was a science nerd. Yeah, I was a science nerd.
So what did you want to be originally, like when you were a kid?
Oh, when I was a kid?
12.
Oh, yeah. So listen, here's what happened, right? You guys know these movies like Jurassic World, stuff like that, right? Well, they started with a single movie that kind of set the precedent called Jurassic Park, right? And it came out in like 1993. Yeah, right? And so that was the first time that the CGI actually showed like decent dinosaurs, and it looked incredible. So my mom took me to see it, and I decided I was going to do that. I was going to be one of the scientists that bring back dinosaurs. So I was going to genetically engineer them. So I literally, all through my first semester in college, I was a genetics major because I was dead set on doing that. Then I realized I don't really like genetics that much. So I just switched to regular biology and finished doing that. And I was going to go to med school, realized I didn't like being in hospitals. So I got out of school and I started working in vaccine development. Then I went back to school to get my graduate degree, and that's where I am. I always loved birds through that, though. So I had teachers in school that had me out sketching birds in high school. And so it was this thing that I always had on the side, but never really for some reason thought about as a career. And so I now think back and wish I could like go back to my younger self and be like, put down the test tube and pick up the binoculars, you know? So yeah, that was a really good question.
I feel like the school should have like more technology that like the metro parks could send us like a map, but like it's like where like if you go to a certain place, it tell you like this where like the more like where like common birds be at, where you can find
exist.
like interesting birds you could find like during this area and that area. This is like where birds or eagles like find where all their food is at, and I want to witness that. That's why I said that.
eBird, Merlin Bird ID, field guides, all will be very helpful for all of that.
Did you guys use any of those in your project? You ever heard of Merlin or eBird?
So
No?
Merlin
Okay.
Bird ID app, it's an app that you can download, and it actually has a sound recording feature, and you can hit record, and it will tell you what bird you're hearing near you. So it'll hear a bird, and then it will pop a picture of that bird up on the phone for you. It is fantastic. One of the best tools. We actually met one of the people that actually invented it. She's an Asian woman named Mayoko that works out at Cornell University, and she was one of the creators of it, and she's kind of leading the charge with not only that app, but AI and creating AI tools to help bird education. So pretty fantastic.
Have you ever wanted to learn about a different animal?
Ooh.
Other than birds?
Baby goats. Yeah, I got a thing for little goats. I can't. Like I said, I either let me be a bird or a goat. I don't know. You know the little goats with the little sweaters and they be hopping around on the obstacle courses? Yeah, that's me.
I'm sorry, folks. I don't know.
It's a thing. It's a thing. I met a little baby goat a couple weeks ago.
I have to show you
We'll
have to show you the pictures when we finish.
Her
of
name's Big
Dexter.
Bertha.
Yeah, Dexter hugging this
She was
baby
2
goat.
weeks old. I was holding this little baby goat. Oh my God. I'll show y'all when we get done.
I love
I got 2 questions for y'all.
I was gonna say I love mammals like big cats, bears.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's always it's always a treat for me to see like a fox or a coyote or a raccoon in the forest. So yeah, I'll probably study those. What's your question?
I got 2 questions.
I feel like you're judging my mammals though. Like I don't.
First,
Yeah.
if you had to be any bird, what bird would it be?
Ooh.
Me, osprey for sure. Just because it was that spark, like I would love, just even for a day. Birds make me so jealous. Every day they flying around, just gonna do. Who doesn't want it? Who wish they could fly? You know, like how cool would that be just to be like, gone. I'm out of here.
I would be an Arctic tern. They circumnavigate the globe, so they migrate from the South Pole to the North Pole and back. And they are some of the most impressive migratory birds. And just the ability to just be like, I'm
I
out.
saw the whole world.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go to the North Pole today. Like, that's wild to me. And they don't necessarily have to land for a long, long time while they're flying, and they can get up there so high that they're just riding the wind and they'll catch a current and just go up, you know? And so what happens is in the fall when the hurricanes are coming in, the Arctic terns are coming down the Atlantic, and the hurricanes, they come across into Florida and they go up, right? Well, what happens is those terns see those hurricanes and they get pushed inland. So sometimes you could end up having an Arctic tern out here in the Manhattan Marsh flying around because it got pushed inland from a storm, right? Mm-hmm. So I know you guys don't get the hurricanes that hard here in Ohio as we do in PA, but yeah, it's a cool bird.
Any other questions for us?
She's right there. She got another one.
Okay, so what's the bird you studied the most out of all the birds you've ever researched? Other than the ones you said originally.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can't use osprey or Arctic tern or...
I just finished writing a field guide, and it has over 150 different birds in it. And what I found were all the warblers, and really just getting to understand all the different intricacies of their patterns and their colors and their sounds and their habitats. So as I was researching, it took me 2 years to write the book. And I'm the first Black man to write a field guide, which is really cool. It was actually ranked #1 as the new release on Amazon for a couple weeks in the field of ornithology and bird watching and tour guides. That I would have to say it was just learning and researching and really going down a rabbit hole on every single bird like I did with the osprey, and learning every little detail about them was a challenge, but also super cool. Now I know more about all these little things. What I really love about birds is I would never know everything. I'm always learning. Like every day I go out and I'm learning something new. Every day I'm going out, I'm learning something new. I travel to a different area, I'm learning something new. Being a lifelong learner is really important. And I would encourage you all to never stop reading, never stop learning, and embrace that and embrace the fact that you'll never know everything. And that's pretty exciting. That would be my answer.
Yeah, mine is gulls. Right, colloquially know them as seagulls.
Yeah.
Right, but they are one of the most resilient birds on the planet. They're found on every continent, even Antarctica. And even around here, doing our walk this morning, right, I'm checking the gulls flying over. So most of the ones you have around here are called ring-billed gulls, herring gulls. And I enjoy the variability in their plumage and their patterns and how they can literally eat anything.
Mm-hmm. They
right?
eat what we eat.
They will steal your food. They will steal fish from an eagle. They will scavenge, they'll eat roadside, kill. And I am impressed by the fact that they can survive sometimes in spite of what we do as humans, right? And they're still here with us. So.
What is the coolest thing you have learned about birds?
Coolest thing I like about birds? Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay, so this one always blows my mind. There's a bird called the frigate bird, magnificent frigate bird. And when it migrates, it goes up super high. And it won't come down for days, sometimes weeks. It'll fly for that long. And swallows do this too. These swallows you have out here and chimney swifts that you have flying around here, what they do is they take micro naps where they turn off half or all of their brain for like 5 to 10 seconds at a time, and they sleep and then wake up. Right. And so these magnificent frigate birds, they've tracked them and they put a little sensor on them to track their brain activity. And they found that they're 40,000, not 40,000, but they're way up there in the air. And they turn off half their brain so they can get rest. And so like this side, literally their eye is closed. This side, their eye is open. And they don't have to flap when they're up that high because birds are really, really light. Their bones are hollow and they just glide. They like sleep and glide, which is terrifying to me. But I think that's like a super cool adaptation that birds have.
Jason talked a little bit about how they migrate so far. And what I find fascinating, I always tell people, I went to the Bahamas with my family one year, and I'm looking at the birds, and everybody always asks, what was the best bird? What was your favorite bird that you saw at the Bahamas? And I was like, the great blue heron. And they're like, why? You see those all the time in Wisconsin? I said, because this bird may have been in Wisconsin. And that was the coolest thing, is that you realize that they migrate from where I am in Wisconsin to the Bahamas, to South America, and they come back every single year. And just thinking about no GPS, no technology, no nothing. They just use their brains and their instincts, and they fly back, and they come back to the same areas to nest and have new babies every single year. And in that process, they change colors. They get brighter right now in the spring. And they do that so they can attract the best mate. So the male birds are usually the brightest birds because they have to get the attention of the female bird. So they have to be flashy. But the thing is, the female bird controls everything. She actually controls everything. She's the one that says, yes, I will be with you. And a lot of these birds mate for life, which is also really fascinating. So I think just knowing that these birds fly thousands of miles every single year and back to us every single year is really, really cool, and just it's inspiring because we're talking about it earlier. You start hearing some of these birds that have been gone for 3, 4, 5 months. You start hearing them again. You're like, homie, you're back. And it's really, really cool. So that to me is one of the most fascinating facts about birds. Wow, y'all asked some really, really good questions. You all shared some exciting goals and people that inspire you. You're thinking like scientists and problem solvers, because you talked about a lot of the problems that you hope to solve in the world too. You all got me fired up. I'm super inspired. I'm really inspired. My heart is full. So thank you.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with y'all, and kudos to the school and whatever municipality made sure y'all had the Manhattan Marsh next to you, not just to walk past and observe, but actually get in there and find some nature, right? Nature is the best teacher, and you'll never, I think, be disappointed with spending some time on those trails and just taking a moment to yourself and seeing what you notice.
Yeah, so whether you're building something on a new project that you all talked about in the classroom, finding something new, hopefully get you some binoculars and some things to see some of those things a little closer, just stay curious. Just stay curious in the world, no matter what you do. It's clear you all are on the right path.
Yeah, so thank you all for having us. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep exploring. Keep doing these projects. keep having 8 million thoughts and questions and comments, right? I love it.
Curious.
I love it. Don't let anyone take that away, all right? And keep spreading some joy, right? If you have a friend or a family member or someone that maybe doesn't appreciate what you've seen out in the marsh, you can drag them out there one day, right? And show them something that they never realized was there. It's called, it's bird joy for us, like we do it with birds, but you can do it with snakes and turtles and trees and flowers and
math.
Anything, and math, right? Yeah, right? So just keep doing what y'all are doing. We're really impressed with all of you, and hope you all have a really lovely end to the school year this year.
Oh,
let's go.
Thank you, God. Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all. Y'all are great.